Hola mi gente. Greetings, good people. I hope everyone's keeping well, fine and good. Thanks once again for spending a bit of time here. Thanks for every click on my channel, spending a few seconds. I just want to share something that's personally encouraging to me. All right, it's about my book again. It's about my book. My book has reached Colombia, and so when I found that out, I was encouraged. So I thought I'd just share that. What happens is a colleague of mine who opted to buy my book, and the reason she did that, I'm not sure if I've shared this before here on the channel, but we were here at work. I just came from work. We were preparing to welcome a new boss. And so the new boss came in a few weeks before her time started. So old boss was there, new boss was there, but the point is that there's a loud motorcycle going by. The point is that everybody on the team introduced themselves to the new boss. And I thought it's going to be something pretty simple. You say your name, you say your title, and a little bit about what you do on the team. And so by the time 2 introductions had been done, I ended up being introduction number, I don't know, 7 or 8. But by the time the first 2 were done, I realized that people were saying a lot about themselves. Obviously giving their name, describing what they do, saying where they've been before, what they've done, their accomplishments. I mean, I guess those are the kind of things that you say to your new boss to impress your new boss. Say, hey, I'm legit. I'm for real on this team. I guess. People were mentioning their nationality as well. I felt like this was detailed. And so when it came my turn, I figured let me be a bit detailed. So I said my thing, and so after the meeting, this particular colleague I'm talking about came to me, and she had been fascinated by some of the things that I had said. So she seemed fascinated by my background and different things. And then this is what she said. Yeah, I think I've shared this on the channel. But anyway, you might not have watched that one. You might not watch this one either. But hey, well, of course, if you're here, you're watching it. But anyway, so then she said something to the effect of, have you ever thought of writing a book? So I said, yes. In fact, I have written a book. And so she, of course, given the level of fascination she already had, she immediately took out her phone and ordered the book right then and there. Her nationality is Peruvian. She is Peruvian. So she ordered the book. All right, really sweet, really friendly. So when she got the book, she brought it to work, she showed it to me. I got to sign it for her. She was all enthusiastic. That's always encouraging for a writer, for any creative person. I mean, it's nice when people have enthusiasm for what you've done. So, more recently though, she took a trip. She had a break in work and she took a trip, and then she came back. She came back a couple days ago. And this is what she said to me. I told you she's Peruvian. So she went to Spain, and she was with a cousin of hers who lives in Spain. All right, sorry, my arm here is getting tired. and I don't have a GoPro and then a cool stick. I'm holding a phone. Holding a phone, stretching my arm, and that can become a workout. So she said that she took my book with her as she went to Spain to spend time with two of her cousins. One of her cousins lives in Spain, the other cousin lives in Colombia. So all three of them were together. And then as she was reading the book, she would keep commenting about the book. Okay, this is my colleague. She would keep commenting about the book. And so at a certain point then, her cousin, the one who lives in Spain, is based in Spain, then took interest and said, hey, I'd like to read the book. And then my colleague says, but it's in English. And her cousin replies, well, I read English. So she gave the book to her cousin, the cousin who lives in Spain. And so all along, the three of them are together. They're touring, they're going to different places. And then her cousin, who's based in Colombia, who was also part of this trip and this holiday, vacation, a few days before it was time for her to leave and go back to Colombia, she asked for the book as well. And based on the things that my colleague had been sharing about the book, she then, got curious. She was asking questions, and then she said that she felt that her husband back in Colombia would be really interested in the book. And the element, because my book covers different things, but the element about the family tree and just going back, generations of your family. And she felt that her husband would be really engaged by that. So she asked, can I have the book and take it with me to Colombia? And so the answer was yes. And so right now, Go in the Strength You Have is in South America. And then another fascinating thing, I thought it was fascinating, my colleague thinks it's fascinating, is that her cousin, the one who lives in Spain, would ask different questions. Like she'd be reading the book and then start asking questions. And then she'd find that as she reads the book, she would get answers. So it was kind of like exciting. It's, there's enough interest to ask questions, and then bang, you find the questions are being answered later on in the book, and she had a great time. So for me, I'm humbled. I've said it before. I did not think the book would go this far. I wrote it initially for myself, and I figured, you know what, if two people read it, if two people buy this, that will be success. I mean, literally. Because I didn't write in order to make money, certainly didn't, and I am not making money. I wrote because I love to write. And I felt that I had something to write that might be helpful. And so I thank God. I am humbled. I thank for all those who've supported this, who've bought the book, some who don't have the book and haven't bought it, haven't been able to buy it, have still been very supportive, have prayed about it, have given me encouragement. And so there are people in Switzerland who bought the book. I mean, the first person who bought the book at all once it was ready was in Switzerland, ordered it from Switzerland. Then there's France, Germany, Norway, South Africa, Zambia, Kenya. So those are different countries where I know the book has been bought and is being read. And then here within the States, there is here in New York, New Jersey certainly, California, Georgia. I'm trying to remember different places. There are other Chicago, and then last summer when I sold the book at the World Discipleship Conference, I mean, there are people from just all over the place. So now Ethiopia, I'm remembering Ethiopia. This has been beyond my wildest expectations. And so the update now, as I just shared, is that the book, Go in the Strength You Have, is now in Colombia. It is in South America. I think that's pretty wild. I think that's pretty cool. So I thank God. Allow me to remind everyone that the second edition of Go in the Strength You Have is now available. It has additional material that's not in the first edition. Additional testimonies, very encouraging, very inspiring testimonies. And I think the book is encouraging because people have told me it is. And so if you don't have a copy of Go in the Strength You Have, I would request you, if you're able, to support me by getting a copy. So down below, I will leave information about where you can order the book. And I just remembered there's a colleague of mine, ex-colleague, she's no longer on our team here in New York. She's in France, and she had told me she's from Bulgaria but lives in France. I mean, she had told me once the second edition was ready to let her know, and then she'll get it. So I've informed her, and she's ordered it, waiting for it to arrive. And again, I thank God. I thank everyone who's been supportive. So there is a second edition. It's out. It's ready. I want to thank my publishers, Illumination Publishers, Tony Mulholland and Paul Vasquez. His name is Paul. He has a son called Paul. I have a son called Paul. So we call each other Baba Paul, which is what people would say in Kenya. If you have a child called, whatever your child's name is, they then call you Baba, that person. So this guy is not Kenyan. He's an American in Texas of Latino background. But we call each other Baba Paul. So Paul Vasquez and Tony Mulholland at Illumination Publishers, huge thanks to them. Thanks again for spending just a few minutes with me. I appreciate that, appreciate the love, I appreciate the support, and please stay well and stay blessed.